Hello there, Paul Michael Bales here. Hope you're having a lovely night. Tonight I want to talk to you about this book, Nephilim by Bohannon. I just want to read the first section of it. The book was published in 1908. And its headline at the top, it says, "In the beginning, God created heaven and earth." I really like the first section of this. It's called "The Basis of Science." Modern science, as a superstructure, rests upon Sir Isaac Newton's theory of the action of gravitation. This theory Newton embodied in what is known as the law of the inverse square, and in those canons of physics which he denominated the laws of motion. Of all the hypotheses propounded by man, the Newtonian is preeminently characterized by the possession of appearance of universal truth. Because of this appearance, since the day of its announcement, it has met the common approbation of mankind. Thus accorded the position of ultimate truth, this theory has been made to serve as a safe and secure foundation for the body of what the world is pleased to call science. What if the entire Newtonian doctrine be erroneous? Upon this basis of security rests the nebular hypothesis, and upon this is further imposed the doctrine of evolution. The Solomon of science dead, his successors in office have reared upon his foundation, in perfect similitude, these latter-day calves of Bethel and Dan. The proverbial L has been added to the inch by the daring adventurers whose purpose is dethronement of the Creator and exaltation of nature in his stead. The Newtonian system, treated and established, affords the only show of reason which sustains the nebular hypotheses. If the nebular hypothesis be true, the abundant mistress which has given to the evolution his eons of ages, wherein to beget and nurse his ever-lowering beasts and sinking progeny of pre-human monsters, and to follow their netherward pedigrees far down into the deeps of his own unholy imagination, then the Bible is false and the faith of Christendom vain. Whose word is to be taken, man's or God's? The matter is the same and as vital to this day and generation as was the worship of nature in apostate Israel of old. The expounder of the nebular hypotheses and the professor of evolution, its kindred cult, built today just as the former craftsmen of bow according to their own understanding. And they say today precisely as the prophet tells us did their predecessors in worldly wisdom. Let the men that sacrifice kiss the calves. And the unfortunate fact is that the behest is obeyed in this age as it was in that. Yet whoever accepts and believes the doctrines of modern science does not and cannot accept and believe the Bible or worship the true God. In science, infidelity is triumphant, and every man who deals honestly with himself recognizes the fact. The question is, which is true, science or the Bible? Stand together they cannot. Reconciliation between the two is absurd. Is it that the man of science of this day is right and the Bible wrong? or that the word of God is everlastingly true, and he who accepts the contrary, like decrepit Ephraim, feedeth from the wind. The high-stepping personification of modern wisdom has reared unto herself altars of worship upon places far higher than the dedicated groves of Baal upon the mountains of Israel. Presuming Lucifer pales before the assurance of this generation of the sons of men. Without a tremor of fear, the utterances of Jehovah are ignored. The fact of his presence is disregarded. His very dwelling place is invaded and desecrated, all in the name of science and under the claimed authority of reason. But what if reason do not sanction the desecration? What if never a train of reasoning advanced by man, every element of which was true, led to a conclusion at variance with the Bible? The claim to the authority and sanction of the right reason has ever been a cloak and specious cover of error. Let him who finds his reasoning sound, yet his conclusions at variance with the Bible, be his power of intellect and the scope and depth of his knowledge what they may, look well to his premises and basic assumptions, for therein lies error. With the extent of duration between the eternities as time in which to perfect and finish the combined intellect of all mankind, upbuilding upon the sum total of choice assumptions, could not rear a true science at variance with the word of God. The apostle was mindful when he charged the young disciple, "O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings, and oppositions of science falsely so called, which some professing have erred concerning the faith." Indeed, science trembles with the ageness of error. Reason should cease to grope her way by a dim taper, holden in palsied hands. Before the scene of human action closes, there is an exalted service appointed for reason to discharge. The fairest of this world should quit all debased habit and low vocation. Rise, be anointed, and stand with the revelation by the Lord of the whole earth. The calling of reason is to service in the temple of truth. Let her enter and assume a high station. Her responsive lips purified by touch of the coal of the altar. Let reason clasp inseparable hands with revelation. Then lovingly will the heavenly maiden readorn with celestial radiance the returning sister's brow, and in vision lead her beyond the cycles of change in planets and satellites to the reach of time, and there, where the circle of dateless eternity encloses the mystery of omniscience, uncertain or uncurtain the opening scene in the drama of days, when God said, "Let there be light," and the Spirit bore the kindling torch of creation through the awful deeps of the universe, and upblazing fires of myriad worlds signaled obedience to his command. Seeing the sublime panorama of the beginning, purified and enlightened, the daughter of earth shall bear witness with her divine companions that the heavens declare the glory of God, and his word is the theme of the ages. When in doom of days the sword of God shall be bathed in heaven, and the drama of creation closed, when the unmovable foundations are laid forever, and the firm decrees of eternity spoken upon the sons of men who bear the burden of denial against the word of the everlasting God, may judgment be uttered from the seat of mercy. I hope you enjoyed that reading. Have a lovely night, people. God bless you.